Dap-a-doo, two white guys in a wheelchair.
All right. This is Raiden, your host,
And Erik.
and our guest today is Nick Pelletier. Am I saying that correctly? Last name?
Yeah, Pelletier is good.
Okay, cool. And we were just
Welcome
chatting. We were just chatting before I hit record, and Nick was just getting into telling us about the Moab race. It's a race, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Moab 240. It's a running ultramarathon.
Hell yeah. Okay, so he was just telling us about that. He was telling us he was just getting started, telling us a bit about his crew setup and what goes into that. And then he mentioned that a pacer, a member of his crew, had hurt himself. So, and I was offering that Erik should go down there, throw on a set of off-road tires, and pace him for it. But yeah, Nick, maybe in a couple of sentences, explain who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. We'll talk a little bit about the Moab, what you're trying to do right away here, and then maybe we'll talk history a little bit after we go over that.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Nick Pelletier, ultra endurance athlete, Canadian guy. Went to high school with Raiden here. We played baseball in the same program, and yeah, right now my most recent endeavor I'm taking on is called the Moab 240. It's a 240-mile ultramarathon in the backcountry of Moab, Utah. So through the Red Rock Desert and up mountains and all sorts of things. It goes through like really hot climates, and then when you're up climbing to the peaks of the mountains, it gets pretty cold. So lots of different weather variations, and it's considered one of the toughest ultramarathons in the world. So I'll be racing. David Goggins is in it this year, so it'll be some pretty tough competition. But yeah, I'm excited to go down there and hopefully get it done. Last year I attempted it, and everything was going great, and I slipped in one spot and hyperextended my knee. So about 100 miles into the race, I was just going so slow that I had timed out and missed a cutoff. So really looking forward to getting back this year and getting it done. So yeah, I was just saying one of my crew members was a speed flyer, like paragliding speed flyer, and he hurt himself, like broke both his ankles and broke some things in his back. So saying I'm down one pacer, so maybe yeah, Erik can chuck on the off-road tires and meet me down there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so did you run it last year? Is that when kind of
yeah, I ran it last October. Yeah, I did not finish last year. I just there's like 16 aid stations throughout, so you all start at the same time on noon on a Friday, and then basically you go through these whatever they can be, probably like on the low end, like around 20 kilometers from aid station to aid station, on the high end around a marathon, so like 40 to 45 kilometers. So each of them are different sections because you're going through different parts of the course. So yeah, you kind of just start and go through to an aid station, and at these aid stations they have like food, water. If it's later in the race, maybe some cots to like sleep on because it's a long race. It's 5 days long because you're covering like almost 400 kilometers. So it's just a nonstop. Once you start, you go until it's finished, day and night. So yeah, early on in the race, the aid stations are a little more routine, limited, just because you just started. But as you go on, they're more extensive and yeah, well, not necessarily closer together, but they have more kind of things at them, I should say, like food or, like I said, sleeping things. They have a bunch of volunteers that'll help you with either massaging things or help you with foot care, things like that. But they have cutoffs at each one, so you have to have made it to that section by a certain time or left by their cutoff time, just so you can like keep moving forward in a good enough time to finish the race. You have like 117 hours is the cutoff to finish the whole race, but through each of these aid stations, they have, what if it was like 10-hour cutoff for this one or 20 for this one. So yeah, after last year, I was doing really well. Felt really strong, and then yeah, I was descending this hill at nighttime, and it was kind of this like loose. It was kind of like dirt with rocks into it, and I stepped on one of the rocks, and it broke away, and my leg just like fully
Oof, oof.
hyperextended, and it was nighttime, and after that, it was on one of the longest sections too. It was on like a 45-kilometer stretch. So I kind of limped to that one, and then I spent like 6 hours at the aid station trying to loosen it up, get it ready again, tape it up. And after that, I was moving so slow. I did do another, I think, 80 kilometers on it, but at mile 100, like 160K in, I was forced to stop just because I got into an
Yeah.
aid station with like 2 minutes until cutoff time, and I just didn't have time to do all the things I had to do. So yeah, hopefully this year will be different. I got a bigger crew this year. You have a crew also that can meet you at certain aid stations and help with, whatever you need, giving you different gear or giving you different food or water. And then you also have certain sections where you can have pacers. So last year I didn't have any pacers. I just had the one videographer who was my crew. But this year I have like a vehicle driver, and I was supposed to have a couple pacers. I got one pacer right now. And then again,
Maybe Eric.
videographer and other
Yeah.
helpers. Yeah, maybe Eric.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big endeavor for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to get down there and get another opportunity at it. So
Hell
In
yeah.
terms, a question
Oh,
for you.
sorry, go for it.
Sorry, go ahead, Raiden.
Nope, go ahead, Eric.
I was just wondering, like, so, sorry, can you repeat how many hours is the race total? 100 and
well, you have once it starts. So it starts at noon on a Friday. So next Friday it's going to start at noon, and then the last very cutoff you have to finish the race is 117 hours. So it's like 5
okay.
days. So until
So yeah, in terms of like strategy, what I guess what is the most common, like how many hours of sleep do you guys usually give yourselves? Like,
yeah, the winner last year did it 69 hours was the winning time. So I think he only slept maybe an hour the whole race. So you can
wow.
take like that's kind of like at an aid station where he had crew, and then he got in the back of like a van, laid down for let's say an hour type of thing. Um, Everybody's a bit different. There's some people that are just looking to finish the race and
Yeah.
get through it, so they might take more naps at like an hour or two at each aid station that they can get some sleep at if they're ahead of the cutoff time.
Mhm.
Or sometimes, like even on the trail last year, if I was super tired at nighttime or something, I might just like, you might honestly just lay down on the side of the trail, like rest your head on a rock, like a dirt or nap type of thing. Try and
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
like 10 minutes and then wake up. It's like you're so tired you can fall asleep like that, basically. So you can get like a few minutes here and there, but yeah, more or less, I just try and go until you feel like you really need it. And then your body will kind of tell you when you need to take a little bit of a rest here or there if you're like stumbling over your feet, and it can just kind of
Mhm.
revamp everything. Even like a half an hour nap can give you like a really good boost of energy for like almost a full day or something. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, it
That's
goes a
super
long
cool.
way.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And Raiden,
Nick, go
you
ahead,
go ahead,
Nick.
Raiden.
Or Eric? Oh, I was
No,
just
I was
gonna
just
say,
handing it to you.
I wanted to say because I was I don't know how because I wasn't following you on Instagram or anything, so I was just trying to think of like how I refound you. I think it might have popped up in my Instagram feed or something like that. Um, and then I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I played baseball with this guy. And then I was looking at all of like the adventures you had been, because yeah, like before, I guess the listeners, like, and Eric, before you popped on, or before we started recording, I was like trying to think like when the last time I saw Nick was. And in grade 11, we were in the same baseball program together in high school. It was a good program. And essentially it was like basically a block of school per day. And then maybe, I think during like gym as well too, you just essentially got like quite a bit of hours allocated to either training and essentially baseball. And
Yep.
then, so my experience with that program was in grade 11, it was really good, because I got way better at baseball. But switching in at grade 11, I don't know. I found for myself, I found socially challenging, and then I was really struggling academically as well too. So I was like, I had this like double-edged thing where I'm like, okay, I really like the baseball program because I'm getting better at baseball, but I'm also depressed because I'm having a hard time getting friends. So I ended up switching back to my old school, which I think was a good option for me at the time, at least, um, because I was, maybe I got worse at baseball, but I was happier. So, you know, uh, but that was kind of probably the last time like I had like major interactions with you, because like when I was there, it was Todd, Brett, and you and me, and that was pretty much
And
it
Mike,
for
was it Mike as well?
Mike. I don't think
Keaton.
so. I think. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
there's the five of us in there. Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, I totally forgot about that. I have him. Maybe I saw him from Instagram because he really got into. Because I haven't interacted with him too much either, but he really got into like film and like
Yeah.
construction, like
Yeah.
film
I saw him
construction
at
set.
the Christmas Classic a couple of years ago. Mickey's Christmas
Yeah,
thing. So yeah.
yeah. I've been out of town. I keep getting the invite for that, and I'm like, oh, I want to go, but I haven't. It hasn't lined up for me. So,
Yeah.
I'd like to go do that. Yeah, I'm just like whenever I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with baseball because whenever I'm not playing baseball, I'm always thinking like, man, all I want to do is hit ground balls to kids, and for that to be my life. Like that's all
Yeah.
I want to do. But then as soon as like I start playing baseball, because it's like a marathon. It's like you have to kind of like the season is you're there every day, and so it starts to wear on your mental a little bit. You're like, oh
Tons
man,
of
it's like
tons of
God.
games in baseball too, and you always have to show up so early, and yeah, it was a big
Yeah,
commitment for sure.
yeah. There's all
Have you
this
ever
other
thought
stuff that
about?
goes on to like actually playing. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, go.
I guess have either of you ever thought about like getting involved with like youth baseball?
I've
Yeah,
thought about it, but I
I
haven't
had
done it. Yeah, go
yeah,
for
I
it.
had helped Mickey with a bit of like his Mickey was our the program runner at NSA, National Sport Academy, but the baseball coach. But he also was like the director of the Babe Ruth and everything. So I'd helped with like um kind of some camps with him or like the tryouts, things like that. But
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
I haven't done too much coaching. I think maybe later in life I'd get into
Yeah,
things like coaching, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like
fair.
you need all the time you can get for these endurance events. I feel like you need
Yeah,
all
I
the well,
bet.
not maybe not time,
Uh,
energy, everything you kind of goes into that.
yeah, for sure they
Yeah,
take a lot.
I've thought about it. I think that'd be a good thing for me. I think that would be a good thing for me. I think I just like kind of disconnected from the baseball world a little bit, so I don't really know the in there. So maybe this is good inspo for me to get out there and start hitting kids ground balls. Um,
Yeah.
But,
ground ground balls and pop flies. But that being said, so maybe like walk us back, like from
Mhm.
maybe like the last time I saw you, like would have been kind of around that like grade 11, grade 12 time, and because like like when when you came across my Instagram feed, I've seen that you've done a ton of endurance events since then.
yeah,
And for me, like a lot of these in my mind, I'm like, oh, like before even knowing you, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to do this, be cool to do this. I've always seen like these endurance athletes, like the David Goggins, but a lot of other things too, because I wouldn't say anything close to an endurance challenge like you have, but I have done like I do like doing like these, a really tough thing, because I think
yeah.
it's good for you to do at least 1 year where it like pushes you to your absolute limit. Um, uh, but so I was like I was looking at all this shit that you've done, and I'm just like, oh, this is sick. Like Nick's living, Nick's living my. I gotta channel more Nick in my life. I gotta be more like Nick. I gotta start doing more hard shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I was with the Instagram thing, there's lots of people I get like I've turned off notifications on Instagram. I think your logo wasn't your face, so I kind of
Yeah.
saw the name and or you had reached out or something and I saw the name and I was like think that's like Raiden from high school. And then I
Yeah.
sent the name to Brett, and I was like, "Is this Raiden, you think?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's him." Because we saw like a video you'd made with the podcast and stuff. And but yeah, that's funny. But yeah, since I've seen you, yeah, like I said, I was in grade 10, so I've always wanted to do like sports for high school. So I got into National Sport Academy in grade 10. Like you were saying, yeah, it's basically one section of your day, one class period of your day, which was our gym class, would be allocated towards baseball. So if it was like right before lunchtime, we'd do lunchtime at the facility plus our gym class, or if it was the last period of the day, we'd just drive out to the facility and then like spend until the evening doing all sorts of things. But I think there was kind of where I started to learn how to train and the kind of mentality you needed to perform as a professional athlete and to start to work into that. I loved the baseball stuff in high school, and I ended up playing at Okanagan College after high school for a year. But I don't know if you remember in grade 10, I had a bunch of like concussion issues. I was playing football at
I
the same
remember
time.
that. Yeah.
I loved football. It was when I probably like almost loved it just as much as baseball. I ended up playing football again in grade 12 and really enjoying it. But going into Okanagan College, the year before I graduated, I was playing intramural dodgeball. So grade 12 in the gym there. And I dove for a ball and just slammed straight into the wall and got like a
Ooh,
massive
ouch.
concussion. That kind of, so I had to take a year off after high school, and I ended up just training with NSA again on an off year and working construction with my dad. And then the next year I went to Okanagan College, but I still couldn't really play the way I wanted to. So I got 1 year playing collegiate baseball, and I met tons of people at school there, but I just like couldn't play the way I wanted to. I was like second guessing diving for balls or like not committing to balls in case they bounce up, hit my head. So yeah, it was really tough going through all that concussion stuff, but I still had the like fire and passion to compete, but it just wasn't going to be in baseball or football or something. So my dad was doing triathlons at the time. He's always done them, and I did my first one, I think on that gap year. Was just like a sprint triathlon here and maybe in Okotoks or something. And I said maybe I'll just try committing to that. So I was still out in Kelowna, and I just looked up like triathlon coaches, and I ended up getting in with like a youth coach who is coaching some like the best juniors in the nation. So there are guys like on Team Canada and traveling around the world to do that. So I actually kind of lucked out pretty big getting in with them, and it was cool though being from NSA, learning like kind of the structure you needed to be successful as an athlete. And a lot of our in-class sessions when we weren't at the facility would be like mental training stuff, which I never
Yeah.
even knew about as an athlete. But Mickey kind of introduced us to that at an early age. And like looking back now, there's tons of people who are athletes that I don't think they've spent much time on that. And it's something that I think is like a huge benefit and has helped me in the things I've done is having that base from back in high school and building upon it for the past whatever 10 years or more. So yeah, that was really cool to have that side of things. And then um, getting then the endurance side of things, the coach I had for triathlon was very like science based and evidence on training and everything. So it was cool to like learn both of these sides of things and kind of put them together to become a better athlete. And so I started doing sprint triathlons and training and traveled around to places like Switzerland and things to compete. But again, I realized that wasn't like I was training with guys who he recently was he was the alternate at the Olympics this past Olympics for Team Canada, and like he's
Oh,
like
cool.
these world class level triathletes, right? And I realized, well, I'm not going to be an Olympian. A lot of it's just genetic at some point. Like I'm doing the same training as them, the same everything, but they're just better, right? There's a like not a
Mm,
lot of chance of catching them, even if you're a really good athlete. So, but I really
yeah.
enjoyed doing our things like our long rides, our long runs, like that long stuff. So it was probably like just before COVID when I started kind of just messing around with trying to push myself. I'd just take like a baby stroller and put some gear in it, and then my first ultra was just running around Okanagan Lake by myself. It was like the middle of winter, just pushing this baby stroller, and it was like a
Wow.
140-kilometer run, and I just like set off and tried it and see how long it took, and I got it done, and I realized like, oh, this is the type of stuff I really want to do. So then I'd done some other ones, like with my friends, we kayaked half of the Okanagan Lake, and then I just started doing things like cycling around the lake and like that. And then I guess the first main um, event I kind of took on was I cycled across America from California, San Francisco to my family's cabin in Old Orchard Beach, Maine. So that was like 50
Oh,
days,
cool.
like around
Yeah.
5,500 kilometers, completely solo. I was like vlogging each day, put a video out each day, and I realized like, oh, yeah, this is the stuff that I really want to do. So since then, I've done a cycle across all of Mexico from Cabo San Lucas up the Baja and down to Cancun, climbing the highest point in Mexico on the way. Pico de Orizaba is the third highest point in North America, as well as going to the lowest point in Mexico. So that was a cool one. I've done some other ultra
What
like style runs around the world,
what
and sorry,
what is the lowest point in Mexico?
it's called Laguna Salada. It's like this dried up lake. It's in about 30 kilometers from Mexicali, right up on the northern border. So it's
Okay.
like 30 kilometers west of Mexicali. So it's just like this barren kind of sand looking valley almost. That's just the wind is howling
Hmm.
on it, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
And all these things I've done too are like YouTube videos and everything. So I have a YouTube channel. It's just my name, Nick Pelletier, but all those are on there if anybody wants to go back and look at
Cool.
all those videos and
Yeah.
adventures.
I'll link your stuff down in the bio as well too. So if anyone wants to go find it.
Sweet. Yeah, but then I guess after my trip across the states on the bike, it was kind of COVID time was getting into then, and I had just got back, and it was kind of that March. I was on a trip with my family for a week, and then my roommate at the time was like, "Hey, I don't get along with the landlord, so you got like a week to get your stuff out because like I'm done with them." I'm like, "Oh,
Oh
geez.
no.
All right." So a couple of years before, I'd bought this converted school bus, and just to like take on adventures and things, has like solar on sink and bed, stuff like that in it. And then I was like, all right, I guess I'm staying in the bus because it was like a random time to get a place, and I didn't have anyone else to share with. So I was basically living in my school bus. Then COVID hit, so it was pretty like isolated. And I had like a knee injury at the time. All the pools and things were closed. Like I couldn't do too much. So I just
Mm.
started like taking a paddleboard out onto the lake, and it was like nobody out there, middle of winter. So it was like dead calm, and I'd put a cooler on there, and I'd just like paddle around the whole lake. And I had done a half of the lake kayaked with my
Did you
friend
say
like a year or two.
did you say middle of winter or middle of summer?
No, middle of winter, because like it was like March probably when like COVID first hit there, March. So
Yeah.
or like February, March, whenever that was. So it was like winter time, full on winter, February, somewhere in there. But I was just
It,
out in
is
the
that
middle of
is that like
nowhere.
isn't that super dangerous?
Yeah, a lot of the things I do, I would say, like that's a thing I had. I tried to do coaching as well, like later on, and like I got a lot of things I could probably work on it more, but a lot of the things I do, I can't tell other people to do because like it is kind of dangerous, but it's a way like to do things that other people aren't doing. You kind of got to do things that other people aren't doing, right? So,
Yeah.
but yeah, when I was just trying to get some workouts in, like I said, all the gyms, everything was closed. So I would just sit on this paddleboard and like paddle around the lake. Um,
Yeah.
and
In the middle of winter.
start thinking
That's
about, but
yeah.
actually in the
Sorry,
winter, like
continue.
there's no like boats out there for people surfing or things like that. So it's like glass. It's dead calm out there.
Okay.
Like you're literally the only one out there. So again, like if you fell into the cold water, it'd be kind of tough. But I'd be out there, and I was thinking, like, man, I wonder if I could paddle the whole lake. And I was thinking, well, I paddled half of it, and it took whatever, like 12 hours. So my friend Ken, and I was like, yeah, like it'd be cool, but I wonder if it's too easy. So I'm thinking, I wonder if anybody's ever swam the lake. So then I would like do
Hmm.
a bit of research, and I realized there's only been one person ever that swam the distance of the lake. And then I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to swim Okanagan Lake. So that whole next year until the summer, I started making a training plan with my coach. And once I got warm enough to get in the lake outside, I'd start training in the lake. And then my first attempt at the lake swim was in 2020, where you go from Vernon to Penticton. It's a 106-kilometer lake swim, so it's just a straight swim. The record was like 40 hours. That like the only person that's done it was 40 hours, like 57 minutes 11 seconds. So it was like 41 hours. So my goal was to go sub 40 on that. And I had a whole crew that I had to set up with like friends and support boats and kayakers and nutrition and everything. It was really like a education in setting up these big events I never knew I'd really get into or take on, but it was
Yeah, it sounds.
really cool seeing.
I remember. I don't know. So that was that Lake? That wasn't the Lake Okanagan one though, right?
Yeah,
Vernon to
that's like
Penticton. Yeah,
Ogan. That
that
was
is
my
okay.
yeah, that's my first attempt at that one. Yeah.
I remember watching that. Yeah, I remember like watching some of your stuff either on Instagram or YouTube on that. But it's like, yeah, it's quite a bit of logistics.
Oh, it's yeah, these things are, and there's different things because like this race I'm doing with Moab, it's very logistical still. Like you need to prep and plan all your own gear and drop bags and nutrition and things for weather and all that. But the base kind of the structure of a race is still there, right? Like they've set up the course, they've set up the aid stations, they have the volunteers, they have all that, right? That's all built in. Whereas like these challenges
Hmm.
that I've been taking on myself, cycling across the continent or this swimming challenge, things like that, they're all very self logistic planning, right? Like I'm the one that's had to call everybody, I'm the one that made the route, I'm the one that has made the nutrition, made the timing, like done the training, made the training plans, all that type of stuff, right? So they're very like you really do learn quite a bit about logistics and setting up these big events and all that as you
Yeah.
go. But I didn't really know. I was pretty young still, like early 20s, trying to figure all this out and just kind of followed my way through it. So that first year, we started out on, I think it was September 1st. So it was like pushing it towards the end of the season where the water's like starting to get colder, the nights are shorter or longer, like the days are shorter. So my first attempt, I made it about, it was like just under 50K. I was like 48K into the swim. And I had lost like all the skin on my back and legs and
Oh,
everything from chafing because I'd done
oh,
like swims of probably 10 kilometers up until there in training, like 4 or 5 times a week, and then like an hour swim the other days. So I was swimming like a ton, but I hadn't done like a long straight swim where you don't have the time to take your wetsuit off because you're in the water for all this, right?
yeah.
So yeah, it's not like you can just take your stuff off, and so you're anyways, so I got all this chafing and I couldn't even plane right in the water anymore. My like it was so painful and my legs were like dragging and then because you're in the water, so like every time you'd pee or anything, it'd be like rubbing alcohol on your open wounds and like cut your breath.
Ouch.
It was just like very terrible. So I made it 50 kilometers roughly on that one, just under halfway. And then I realized I had to like go back to the drawing board and try this again. So a year went by because you can only really do it once a year in the summers. So yeah, a year went by, fixed some things, got like a sleeveless wetsuit with external sleeves. So like this part was open where I had most of the worst chafing, all sorts of things. So we're set for the next attempt in 2021. And then like the few days before my race, Okanagan gets pretty bad fires in the summer.
Hmm. Yeah, I
They're
remember that.
having terrible fires. So the air quality on the day I did my swim was the worst air quality in the world, actually. In Vancouver and in Okanagan region, it was like completely whited out with smoke. Like you could barely see 100 meters ahead of you. And take in for this, like a lot of it is based on a map, like your GPS and things, but still you're sighting off like landmarks far in the distance for the support boats, and like everything is based on like following the most direct point of line, right? Because when you're doing something so hard, you want to be the most efficient, so you're not zigzagging all over. And everybody would say online like, oh, why doesn't he just change it, like change the date, this and that? But again, you have like a 30-person crew that's rotating on and
Yeah.
off on these 8-hour shifts, and everybody's said with work that
Not
they can take this time off and help you, and you got thousands of dollars in support boats and sponsors and everything, right? So it's like you more or less kind of do got to set a window of time and hope for the best. So we
yeah.
went for it that time again, and again things were good until about halfway through, and then I had this just weird thing in my shoulder where I just couldn't lift it anymore. It just like completely stopped working. So I was swimming with one arm for a while, like had this arm up and was just swimming with this arm for like a couple hours. But then again, like once you hit a headwind or something and you're going into the waves, it was so tough that I couldn't cut through it. So got called on that one. And then, yeah, then I had to take a bit of time and just reflect on what I was doing. That's after that when I did the Mexico ride, from Cabo up to Baja down through to Cancun, and
Mhm.
then so I took one summer off. But that summer I actually ended up doing what my original thought was paddling the lake. So I took a pack raft, just me. I started in Vernon. I paddled the whole lake. So that was really cool for me to do and get done, and kind of see the route and know what it would be like to get to those later parts in the swim that I had never made it to yet, and everything, like just to visualize it and to know that I could do it solo was pretty cool. And then 2023 was the year that I took it on for the final attempt, and it took me longer than I expected. And again, you have so many things that come up, and injuries and crew issues and all different stuff, but I ended up getting it done that year. So that was kind of like, I'd say, one of the bigger achievements I've had. It was probably still the toughest thing I've ever done in my life. It was 71 hours of swimming over like,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
whatever that was, three days, and chafing, and my face was swollen, like my lips were completely burnt. They're just
So
like
are you
raw,
in the water
bleeding.
for 72 hours?
Yeah, you're going nonstop basically. So after
Fuck.
on that one, because I didn't get the record because the record time had passed. There's still only two people that have done it, is me and this other man Adam who's done it. But after the record time passed, I it was later on the swim, and the crew was like threatening to, not threatening, but they were saying like, oh, we might have to pull you if you don't get a little rest here, because of I would be falling asleep like as I was swimming and kind of going off course. So I took, I think it was
Yeah.
two 10-minute naps throughout, so just on the back of the boat. But other than that, I was in there the whole time. I really wanted to do it without getting out. And if I was like on pace for the record, I would have stayed, but I was almost double the record time. So it was just a long time to be in there without anything. So I had, I think, two 10-minute times out of the water just on the back of
Yeah.
the boat. But other than that, I was swimming, yeah, for all those 71
Yeah.
hours. So
Jeez.
it was a lot, but
That's crazy.
yeah.
How pruned were you? Like after
Oh,
getting out? Like were
everything
you
is
like
yeah, everything's completely, yeah, pruned. And I also, because of the chafing issues I've had years prior, we had this kind of mixture of Vaseline you put on and Equate diaper rash cream to help with like
Mhm.
lubrication. And it also helps with like the sun, and it's hydrophobic, so it stays on in the water. But I just
Yeah.
had this white cream like all over my body, leaking out of the wetsuit, like everywhere. When I came out of the water, I just looked like insane. But um, yeah, I got taken to the hospital after that just for like checkups and everything, because I mean your hormones and your levels are so imbalance after that. But I actually did pretty well. Like my nutrition was good. I just had a bit of elevation in like creatine kinase, which is like the risk of that is rhabdomyolysis, which is when your like muscles start eating themselves over that long and you get like these organ failures and things. But no, I did pretty well with it. So it was that was the thing that kind of, I guess, was the most notarized thing I'd done up until that point. I didn't have too many followers on social media or anything, but kind of after that swim, it kind of opened a bunch more doors for me. I had more attention online, and more people kind of wanted to follow along with the things I was doing. It's still a battle each day, obviously, is social media, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I always hate doing it, but it's been cool. I've always enjoyed telling the story and showing people the videos I make of the adventures. So I mean, it's just a necessary evil, I guess, if that's the things I want to do. But it's been cool. It's led to other endeavors. My most recent one I just finished was I cycled. It was probably actually the biggest and the hardest thing I've done is I cycled all of Africa from Cairo, the pyramids in Egypt, all the way down to South Africa. So that was 79 days, 10,300 kilometers. So that was 9 countries. So again, the logistics of now crossing international borders and places where it's politically and civil unrest and, safety wise, and I'm still solo out there. So that was the biggest one I think I've ever done. So just finished that one in July.
So I was following you along on Instagram for that one. I was just kind of watching your stories, and I was like, because I in 2022, it was either 2021. No. Sorry, it would have been like 2018 or 2019. Sorry, because oh no, it was even more. I feel like since COVID, my memory is like all blurry and it kind of like mixes together. But it was I think it was 2017. I was through a school program. I spent like a couple months in Botswana, and I had met two girls who were doing a similar type challenge. Who is Cairo to Cape Town. And so when I saw you doing that, I was like, oh, because when I heard them do that like all those years ago, I was like, that's crazy. But like good for like that's really cool. But I feel like there's like a lot of logistics and risk that you might be taking on. So I was when I saw that you were doing that and you were doing it, so you did it totally solo?
Yeah, I didn't have anybody with me at all.
Oh, that's crazy. So I was curious, like what were you doing for, like, were you staying in hotels? Were you camping? Like, and then what were you doing to kind of like keep yourself safe kind of along that trek as well too?
Yeah. So originally I was hoping to go straight from Egypt into Sudan and go on. The kind of or not mentor, I should say, but the kind of biggest inspiration, I guess, is for this long distance cycling is Mark Beaumont. He's got the record for that one, Cairo to Cape Town. He did it crazy, like I think it was 41 days or something insane, like huge mileage each day. But he also has like the record for around the world cycle, all these different endurance records he has. But when he did it, I basically wanted to follow his route because he's the fastest one to do it. So I was like, I'd like to follow his route. But he went through Sudan. He did it 10 years ago in 2015. But since then, like even looking at his route, a lot of the places he went through, like some of them are destroyed now and not there because Sudan's in like a civil conflict war right now. So I couldn't go through Sudan. I couldn't get a visa to go through there. So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board. So I went through Egypt, and then I had to cross the Red Sea with a ferry, and then I cycled all the way down Saudi Arabia, and then took a trip back over into Djibouti, then Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and then Zambia, Botswana, South Africa. So it was 9 countries total. Most of the time I stayed in just little, like, you can't even call them hotels or motels. It's just like 4 walls and a roof type of thing. Like they're very rudimentary little places, but I try and get somewhere with like camping was hard because in places like, let's say, Ethiopia, along the side of the road, like the whole day, people just live on the side of the roads, right? It's not like
Yeah.
it's like just where their huts. It's not like you can really just stop and set up a camp somewhere because like you're worried about your bike getting stolen or safety while
Yeah.
you're in a little tent at night, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, you'd always try and find a little something, but I did camp throughout at certain spots, like in Djibouti I was camping and things like that. So yeah, a bit of
Do
a
you
mix of both, but yeah.
did you find places to stop along the way before you left? Or like, yeah, I was kind of curious, or were you just kind of like, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna, because how far would you bike typically each day?
It would be anywhere from 100 kilometers to like 230-ish. So
Okay.
again, I could do bigger days probably, but I had all of my own gear on there, so like filming gear, camping gear,
Yeah.
food. I'm also celiac, so I can't eat whatever I just come across. I have to kind of think ahead of it, which is tough in
Yeah.
Africa because like even a little bit of cross contamination can really make me really sick. So it
Mm.
was, yeah, very rudimentary meals, things like just tuna and candy bar, chips. Like it was, yeah, crazy when I was
Yeah.
eating over there. But um, yeah, I kind of have an idea of where I want to get to in the day, and I'd use like offline maps. But again, your service is like little to nothing, and
Yeah.
I'd have a satellite phone if I ever didn't have service. But I'd kind of have an idea of where I wanted to get to, and some of them you could see that there's a little guest house or something there that you could get to. But when you get there, sometimes there'd be nothing. So
Mm.
it was always a kind of a play it by ear type of thing. Nothing's done online there. There's no booking ahead. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
So unless you're in like a major place like Cairo or
Like a city.
I don't know, South Africa, Nairobi, yeah. But other places like no, I remember one night I pulled into a place in Ethiopia. I'd been climbing. It was a huge climbing day, and I got in, and it said on the map that there was a place, and I got there, rolled in, and there's nothing. So now I'm on this just like little village town where it's like one street lamp, but there's like hundreds of people on the street, and then they all gathered around me. It's nighttime. They're like feeling the bike tires, like maybe trying to grab the food off the back of my bike, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like what
Yeah.
am I going to do?
Uncomfortable
And then
situation.
they're
Yeah.
yeah, and people were telling me too, you can't really ride on the roads at night there because they're patrolled in the day by military, but at nighttime they're gone, and that's kind of when you'd be at risk of getting robbed at gunpoint and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was kind of just stuck there for the night, and I had found this police officer, but again, you don't know who you can trust. Like a lot of these people are in just street clothes, but they'd be wearing, or they'd have like AK-47s, and you don't know if they're the police or if they're. It was just
Yeah. You kind
crazy.
of.
But I ended up keeping my bike at the police shop. I asked, can I just stay in a cell for the night? Like I'd be fine with that. They're like, oh, they're all full. I'm like, oh, great. But so I left my bike at the shop, and he wanted me to keep my passport there. And then a local guy's like, well, you can, like in super broken English, but yeah, stay with us. So I went and stayed in his literally like a tin, it's like a tin
Nice.
shack. And like his whole
Yeah.
family lives in there. His mom, grandma, like brothers, everything's just sleeping on the floor. They gave me their one bed they had, and like it was pretty cool actually. But again, you just like shake your head like, where am I, man? Like middle of Ethiopia, completely alone. Like, but those are really cool
Yeah.
experiences that when you start a trip like that, you're going to have stories and things that come along the way, but you really have no idea what's going to happen. So
Yeah.
it's
Like
just
what that
filling in the
story's gonna
blanks
be
along the way.
before you
Yeah,
before you
exactly.
write it. Yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, it was a crazy experience. Botswana, honestly, you're talking about that. That was probably one of my favorite countries just because of the wildlife. It was like a zoo
Yeah.
everywhere, like a zoo that you're just
It's
in.
a.
Like you'd be seeing stable antelope on the side of the road, warthogs, like the elephants are the coolest. You'd be coming like yeah, right on the side of the road as you're cycling by these massive elephants and all different kinds of things. So giraffes and yeah, all it was crazy. So
That's cool.
super
Yeah,
cool.
it's a
Each
special
country was
place.
very yeah, each country was very different. I mean, like Egypt's obviously way different than Ethiopia, than, South Africa. All of them were very different, but very cool. I also went to the lowest point in Africa and highest point in Africa along that trip as well. So it was uh, Lac in
What
Djibouti is the
is
lowest
the
point in
lowest?
Africa. Yeah, it's 155 meters below sea level. Again, it's like a lake, like the Dead Sea type of thing.
Okay.
So
Yep.
it's actually the second saltiest body of water in the world. It's actually saltier than the Dead Sea. So you go in there and like it's completely crusted with salt along the edges. And as soon as you
Yeah.
walk in and like go to lay back, you just float like without any effort, anything like that. So that was really cool to go
Cool.
to. Minus 155 meters below sea level. And then I like even dunked my head under like I wanted to swim. And I got the salt in my eyes and it was like just burning so bad and everything. But
Not
then the
worth it.
highest
Yeah.
point is obviously, yeah, Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. That's like 5,895 meters, I think, above sea level. So that was
Mhm.
my highest point. So I had
Eric,
cycled to the base camp and then climbed it.
sorry, go. Nice. Eric, yeah, you've been to Tanzania.
Yeah, yeah. I only went for 2 weeks with a school trip,
Nice.
international travel studies, and that was really fun. But yeah, we
What
got to
parts
see.
were you in there?
Um, that's actually a good question. I should know. We were in Tanzania.
Were you
There
by the
was the
ocean?
no.
No.
We
Okay.
did an in the Serengeti safari.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say like probably gonna butcher this. The something crater. It was like the Gorogoro crater, something like that.
I'm not sure of that, but I know Serengeti. That'd probably be the northern part. That's where Kilimanjaro is. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I know a big section there. People go to Zanzibar, the island as well. That's kind of like their beach kind of destination.
Yeah.
So I know lots of people kind of link the two. They'll either do Kilimanjaro and then go like celebrate in Zanzibar and like
Oh, that's
relax. So
cool.
all these people like I'd be talking to on the climb and things, they're going to Zanzibar. This I'm like, oh, I still got half this Africa cycle to go. Oh, you're lucky. But I had the only time I did have somebody on that trip with me is my friend met me in Tanzania to climb Kilimanjaro just for our 5 days there. So that was a nice kind
Oh,
of
cool.
thing to have somebody with me
Yeah.
just midway for like 5 days to do that one portion. But yeah, all the cycling was completely solo, so it was a crazy big trip. But yeah, I'd say those are like my main kind of events that I've done. The one other one that I took on that I want to get back, I didn't get to complete it, was the channel between Molokai and Oahu in Hawaii. It's a
Mm.
swim. So it's a
Yep.
42 kilometer, like a marathon swim, but it goes across like this one, like 2,200-meter deep channel, and the waves are pretty treacherous. And again, you have now the wildlife in there, like sharks and jellyfish and all different kinds of things. So I took that on last
What?
March.
Yeah, I saw on your YouTube. You had like a. I just saw it kind of before you hopped on. I was kind of looking over your website and YouTube, and I was. What did
Yeah.
you call the little? What'd you call the documentary? Uh,
The Channel
something.
of Bones. That's what it. I think that's like the natives what the name translates to. It's called the Channel of Bones. So yeah, it's the
And
Molokai
that.
Channel or Kaiui Channel. So
Okay, I'm just looking at it,
that's
and it's which
between
which islands?
Molokai and Oahu. So Oahu is where you got like Honolulu and all the tourist destination, but Molokai is more of like a very it'd be it's almost as big as Oahu, but it's like there's hardly any people on it. It's very like wild as far as like
Yeah,
raw wildlife on it and the way people live. It's like there's only a couple roads on the whole island, so that's kind of where you start and then you go across. But if
and that's
I
the
do it again, I'm hoping to do it again. I'm hoping that I can get Moab done here and then kind of start to focus on more swimming endeavors for maybe 2026. But
Yeah.
I've learned a lot on this attempt that I did, that I would change for the next one. But basically, again, you kind of have to pick a time. I had chose a captain that had done multiple trips with it before. I think I would do a different person for the next one. Um, I had some local people just reach out to me and kind of offer kind of better deals, and I think they might be better fit for me to do it. But this
Yeah.
captain I had, he kind of had like a weather window of like you only go if it's under 18 knots and under, like with the wind, because that's like really strong
Mm.
waves and currents and everything. And the best day in the week that I'd chosen was 17 knots. So it was like really super rough out there, and yeah, it was. Anyways, he wanted me to start at night, so like in the evening, so you swim through the night and then you get into the island in the daytime when you have like better able to see it. If I were to do it
Yeah.
again, because I was on really good pace, I was on like record pace to have the record for it for like the first half. So I probably would redo that again, like starting early in the morning, and then just because I don't think it would take me that long to do it if the conditions are right. But yeah, I made it halfway on that, and then or more than halfway. I made it. I ended up making it. It was like 32 kilometers, so I was 10K short of it, and then I had to get pulled out. But at the end there, I got stung by Portuguese man o' war jellyfish, which are like they give you this neurotoxin into your system that shuts off like your it
Yeah. I've heard
it
it's
basically
like
like
it's super
paralyzed me
dangerous.
almost.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is
so
wild.
it goes after like your neurological system. So my legs had went from like this, if this is my head, this is my legs, to they started like dragging like this in the water because like it
Yeah.
literally felt like I couldn't kick my feet at all. And then you're also that one you can't touch a boat at all, you can't do anything. So they throw you this water bottle on a string to drink and get your nutrition each hour. But
Yeah.
by the time I was like, you're trying to tread water and like drink your mix and have your gel while you're like in the water there quick. And as that's happening, I'm getting like pulled away from the boat. Like I'd be like 100 feet away within like 10, 20 seconds, right?
Yeah. It's
And
dangerous.
yeah, so and at that time you're like the waves are coming over your head. So as you're drinking it, you take in half salt water. So you either spit it out and lose your nutrition or you're swallowing the salt water. So I started puking and like you should see my face. There's photos on my Instagram, but my whole face is like completely swollen from the salt and all these jellyfish stings. And like at that point, my dad, he was on my crew boat and he pulled me out at that point. But
Yeah.
that one sucked because I was so close. But again, then I had people reach out to me online, like another guy who's a fisherman on Molokai. He's like a kind of a country style boy. He's like a hunter fisherman guy. He's done lots of like he's always in those waters, and he showed me how calm the channel can be at points. He's like, man, you gotta go
Mm.
on a day like this. And he showed me. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm out here literally
Yeah. That would
fighting
have
for
made
my
life
life
so
to move
much
forward.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think when I go back, I'm gonna choose him as a captain, and we'll probably be able to get it done because I mean, there's different logistics with each of these swims, like from lake swimming to that the channel, but it was a really good learning experience, and I'm excited to go back and get it done. I don't know when yet, but I definitely want to get that one back. But yeah, I guess those would be my biggest kind of things that I've done and kind of where I'm at now, and yeah, hoping to just keep it going and hopefully more kind of sponsors and things come in as you kind of can grow this social media and do all that. So I guess yeah, the goal is to just keep pushing the limit and just see what a human's capable of. So
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
What?
And when is your upcoming race again?
yeah, it's on October 10th. So basically like a week tomorrow it'll start. So October 10th to the 15th is the so anytime in there, I'll be racing. I don't know how long it'll take me to finish, but yeah, 10th to 15th is the time. So yeah,
Okay. And
Cool.
is there, because I think on your Okanagan swim you had a little tracker. Is there a way to
yeah,
like, watch like where you are on the route
Yeah,
for this race?
I'll be posting on my Instagram, and like that's part of the crew I have this year are going to be keeping live because I got Starlink now, which I'll be having running out of my bus, so they can kind of keep people updated as far as like where I'll
Perfect.
be and everything. But they also do have part of the race, like Destination Trail is the company that runs the race in Moab, and they have like these spot trackers that are always on you. Um, so
Mhm.
you can actually see everybody on the course where everybody is at the same time. So I'll have that all linked on my Instagram and everything. But yeah, if people want to follow, it's just NP Adventures, my Instagram, and that's kind of where I
Okay.
put all my stuff, like daily stuff and things like that. And then YouTube is where I do like the videos. So we'll have an actual documentary coming out as well because we got all the footage from last year, and then I'll have like this year as well. So yeah, it'll be good. But yeah, people can
Hell
follow
yeah.
along on Instagram would be the best spot to follow along.
Cool. Sure. I'll
But
I'll link it. I'll link it down in our description as well too here, so
Mhm.
people can
yeah,
easily get
for
to that.
sure. Yeah, it'll be
That's
good. Excited for it.
I'm excited for you. Because I want to watch you like as you're going along. I want to keep tabs on how it's going. And
Yeah.
I'm wishing you a lot of the best of luck for it. Or I don't know,
Yeah,
should I say
same
break
here.
a leg or yeah,
Oh,
or
hopefully not. No,
hyperextend your knee.
one of my
I was gonna
crew
say
members
that
already
now so
broke a
that it
leg.
doesn't
So
happen. Yeah,
yeah, knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be, I know kind of now more like what to expect. Like I never have been there before last year, so I know like at least the first half of the course exactly what it looks like and all that. So it'll be better for sure. We'll get it done this year. So
cool, cool. Well, I
yeah.
think that's kind of
Uh,
a good probably spot to wrap it up here. But yeah, Nick, I want to say thank you for coming on. I think I speak for Eric and I that we're rooting
absolutely.
for you in this upcoming
Yeah,
Moab
for
race.
sure.
And yeah, next time or yeah, let's meet up sometime.
Yeah,
Or
for
go for a
sure. No,
run
I
or something.
appreciate.
Maybe you're probably the
Yeah,
last thing you want to do is go for a run probably after this race here, but I don't know, we could go for a walk or a swim or something. So yeah,
yeah. I'll take a
or a
little bit of
roll.
time off, but yeah, no, I appreciate you boys having me on. Yeah, we'll definitely have to catch
Yeah.
up here. Yeah.
Sweet.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Okay, to the listener, thank you for listening in. And yeah, you can find Nick on his Instagram. The link will be in the bio. And yeah, I'm excited for this race. Eric, you got
Oh yeah.
anything to say before we wrap it
No,
up?
just I like Rain said, we wish you the best of luck. It is so cool, and that you're able to do this type of stuff, and that will, people are able to follow along as well. So, best of luck, and yeah, cool.
Awesome. Well, yeah.
All
Thank you,
right.
boys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I guess to the listener, we'll see you in the next one. All right,
Peace.
let's stop this. Boom.
Dap-a-doo, dap-a-doo, two white guys in a wheelchair.